now? Now, if we have no question, we can go ahead. Okay, so so the owner of at first wanted to pull down the buildings for a housing development. Okay, but because the government intervened and finally succeeded in stopping the development. Okay, so environmental and heritage conservation are two important factors in sustainable development. So due to strong opposition from the community, the site was finally designated as a declared monument. A declared monument means 法定古蹟 declared monument. Okay, so here, and then sustainable development may increase costs of this operation. Okay, so businesses may need to invest in the use of green technologies. Okay, invest in the use of green technologies, and then however, okay, the use of green technologies has benefits. It can create safe and healthy workplaces. Second, and then okay, but sometimes when businesses use green technologies, you need to use better materials and energy systems. And these things, better materials and energy systems, are costly, and this can increase the business the operating cost. Okay, so this is the model of promoting sustainability. Ricoh is a famous printers company. So, for example, toner cartridge recycling. Okay, so the toner, the critical is a toner is a critical part of a printer. So this printers company allows users to return the toner to the company for recycling. And then this printer company also has paper reducing technology. For example, the printers can print documents on both sides, and this can save paper. And then legislative compliance, that means maybe the government, okay, requires business use less air conditioning, okay, during office hours. And then energy efficient equipment, for example, the government may businesses may equip their offices with light-saving bulb, energy-saving light bulbs. Yeah, and then green product design. Okay, maybe for example, maybe the product is made of recyclable materials. That means when the product is thrown away, it can be recycled again. So these objectives should be followed by different businesses, and Ricoh is one of the businesses that follows these to promote sustainable development. Okay, so do you have any questions right now? No. Okay, so okay, so let's go. Okay, so okay, and then okay. However, okay, all the measures to increase the all the measures to promote sustainable development can increase the cost of investment and ongoing operations. Okay, and business people have to sacrifice short-term profits. Business people have to sacrifice short-term profits to satisfy long-term needs of the society. Okay. Yeah, so that means that business people may lose money in the short term, but they can benefit the whole society in the long term. Okay, and then there are costs at the individual level. Increased expenditure. Individual citizens need to pay for the costs to keep our environment safe and healthy. Now, for example, when when some buildings is being refurbished, the residents inside have to pay for the disposal of the construction waste. Yeah. So this is remember, this is a polluter pays principle. Remember, this is the key word: polluter pays principle. 污染者自負, the polluter pays principle. So this reflects responsibility. And if you want, that means if you want to start any projects which can pollute the environment, you have to pay the cost. So, and then, for example, okay, water and sewage charges in Hong Kong. For example, if you consume less than 12 meter cubes, you don't need to pay any water charge or sewage charge. But as the water consumption increases, the water charge and sewage charge increase correspondingly. Okay, so the more water you consume, the more water charge or sewage charge you need to pay. And this can discourage people from consuming too much water. Then to create a sustainable city, we need to change our lifestyle, our way of life. How? First of all, we have to avoid overconsumption. That means we should not buy more than we need. Overconsumption means we buy more than we need. For example, recently people scramble for toilet paper, toilet rolls. Maybe, for example, for 3 months, a household may only need at most three packages of toilet paper rolls. But because of fear, some households may have stocked 20 toilet roll papers. And this is overconsumption. This is unnecessary. Okay, so for example, maybe some people may have more than 20 pairs of shoes, but even though you may need different pairs of shoes for playing sport, for sports, for work, or for other purposes, I think a person should have 5 pairs of shoes at most. But some people may have more than 10 or even 20 pairs of shoes. And this is obviously overconsumption because you consume more than necessary. And also, waste recycling requires us to sort rubbish before disposal. And actually, I think waste recycling is not successful in Hong Kong because it is not compulsory. But in Taiwan, okay, households are made compulsory to do make compulsory to sort rubbish before waste disposal, and this has successfully reduced the amount of waste in Taiwan by more than 50%. Yeah. Of course, sorting rubbish takes time, and it brings and it increases inconvenience. But the time is worth spending. Is worth spending because it is beneficial to the environment. And then it will increase time cost as well. The government may need to hold public consultation activities, and public should participate in consultation activities to express their views on vital issues. Yeah, and it takes time, really. Okay. And so why do we need to carry out sustainable policies? Because if sustainable policy are not adopted in a city, there will be negative consequences. Okay, for example, many urban problems cannot be relieved or managed. And then urban problems will fester, that means will become worse in a vicious cycle. Okay, so, and then it can affect our living conditions. Okay, so what is this? Now, for example, sometimes, okay, uh, individuals and companies may need to pay for the short-term cost for sustainable development. But if we and companies do not take action to mitigate the problems by adopting a sustainable way of life, the consequences will be much more serious in the future. Let's look at this flow chart. But the problem is the lack of land use. The problem is the lack of land use planning. And then there will be land use conflicts. Okay, and then if we neglect transport, okay, we will need to intensify traffic congestion. And then if we delay waste management, the landfill sites will be filled up, and this will lead to land pollution. And then if we do not handle the urban decay problems, slums will develop, okay, in the city. So that's why we need to, the government needs to carry out sustainable policies so as not to let urban problems worsen, okay? Okay. So any questions until now? Any questions now? Do you have any questions? Okay, so if you don't have any questions, we can go to the next negative consequence of not adopting a sustainable development. That is environmental degradation. Okay, first of all, if there are no policies to protect the environment properly, Earth's resources like water, air, and soil will be exploited, okay? Yeah, so if we do not protect our environment, okay, water, air, and soil will be exploited, okay, at a rapid rate. And sometimes this will lead to irreversible environmental degradation. Okay, that means once the environment is damaged, it cannot be reversed. Okay, and this will lead to a loss of biodiversity. So what is biodiversity? Means a place have many species of animals. Okay, for example, okay, the rainforest, the Amazon rainforest has a huge biodiversity. Each may have more than 1 million types of animals. But once the environment is destroyed, many animals will die, and then the species of animals may decrease from 1 billion to 200,000. And then the loss of biodiversity can lead to irreversible environmental degradation, because maybe, for example, some animals may have the function of enriching the soil. Okay, so different small animals have their own functions to maintain the ecosystem. And once a species of animal disappears, it may lead to the loss of balance, okay, of the whole ecosystem. For example, recently, locusts, okay, 蝗蟲, locusts have swarmed the Middle East. And then one of the reasons why the locusts have swarmed such a large area is that there is no animal to eat the locusts in those areas. And this is an example of the consequence of the loss of biodiversity. Each animal has its own natural enemy. Yeah. And then eventually humans will face the problem of resource depletion, okay? Humans will face the problem of resource depletion. That means there will be no resources available, okay, to tackle the problem of resource depletion. Okay. And then continuous exploitation of tropical rainforests, okay, may lead to okay, so just now I have mentioned the Amazon rainforest, and then actually to expand urban areas, vegetation have to be destroyed to make way for urban development. And then in Brazil, the government wants to develop the country's economy. That's why the government allows people to destroy the rainforest. Okay. So these logs, okay, are from tree cutting in the Amazon forest. Okay. So the destruction of the Amazon forest may deplete timber assets. Okay, timber means wood, 木材. Timber means wood. Assets, 財產. So once the trees are cut down, it is difficult to plant new trees of equal height. Okay, so without the cover of trees, rainwater may seep in the soil, and this will lead to soil erosion, and this will further degrade the environment. Yeah. And then if the natural environment is destroyed, it may threaten global food supplies. Yeah. And it may even block access to valuable medicines. For example, many rare species in the rainforest may have some chemicals that may be useful for curing cancer or other deadly diseases. But if those rare species are destroyed, scientists may not be able to develop new drugs to cure diseases. That's why the destruction of the natural habitat, especially the rainforest, can have severe environmental consequences. Okay. So do you have any questions right now until now? Do you have any questions? Okay, so if you have no question, okay, we will go on. Okay, so climate change is also one of the negative consequences of unsustainable development, and people and companies may increase the use of fossil fuels to improve their living standard. However, the more fossil fuels we use, the higher the temperature will be. And here, okay. So, okay, if we increase the use of fossil fuels, the Earth will become warmer. And if the Earth becomes warmer, there will be less rainfall. If there is less rainfall, there will be less fresh water resources. And this will lead to widespread desertification. Okay, so this is the sandstorm, okay, in northwest China. Okay, also fossil fuels are non-renewable. Okay, fossil fuels are non-renewable and will be exhausted in the future. That's why we need to develop renewable energy for sustainable development. Otherwise, we may face energy shortages in the long run. Okay, so can you give me some examples of renewable energy? Can you give me some examples of renewable energy? Yes, solar. Apart from solar energy, can you suggest other sources of renewable energy? 可持續能源、可再生能源。Yeah, hydro water resources. Okay, hydroelectric power. Hydroelectric. We call hydroelectric power. Green power. Okay, good. Kind of very good. So, okay, so let's go to here. The solar energy. Good. Solar energy. HEB, hydroelectrical. Hydro means water. Electrical, electricity, power. Okay, and then sustainable development is also related to social inequality and instability. So why? Okay. First of all, socially sustainable policies are essential to a stable and harmonious society. And then if these policies are not adopted, okay, if these sustainable policies are not adopted, the lives of the poor and disadvantaged groups will be very difficult. And then conflicts may arise, okay, from social and income inequalities, okay? Yeah. So, and then social inequality can threaten the stability of society. And I repeat, social inequality can threaten the stability of the society. For example, I think about 7 years ago, when the government planned to develop the northeastern new territories, the residents and many citizens went to the government's headquarters to protest against the development plan. Yeah, and this is because the development plans. This is because the development plans can benefit those large developers, and then the interest of local residents will be sacrificed. That means the amount of compensation may not be enough for the residents to find their housing elsewhere. Yeah, that's why people protest against, okay, development plans. And then one measure to assess income inequality is the Gini coefficient. So the Gini coefficient shows the income distribution pattern of a country or a city. I repeat, the Gini coefficient shows the income distribution pattern of a country or a city. And the value ranges from 0 to 1. Zero means income is equally distributed, okay? And 1, total inequality in income redistribution. So do you know the value of Hong Kong in the Gini coefficient? Do you know the value of Hong Kong in Gini coefficient? Let's have a look. Do you know the value of Hong Kong in, do you know Hong Kong's value, okay, in Gini's coefficient? It's 0.4 or 0.5 something. Just like that, rough guess. It's 0.4 or 0.5. It's 0.5. Why? Yeah. Yeah, so I think Hong Kong is notorious, is famous for high social inequality. So the Gini coefficient in Hong Kong is about 0.54. It's very high. Okay. So the countries in Northern Europe, like Sweden, Denmark, have comparatively equal societies. Okay. Their Gini coefficients, the Gini coefficients are below maybe 0.4, then maybe 0.3 in the Gini coefficients. Okay. So Hong Kong is notorious for for the disparity between the rich and the poor. Okay. So okay lah. Let's conclude this lesson with this graph. So you see, China has a high Gini coefficient, is about 0.4. And then South Africa is notorious for its high income inequality. And then Northern Europe, okay, has low income inequality, okay. So these countries, okay, Northern Europe are rich with low income inequality. That's why, in general, people in Northern Europe are quite happy. Okay. So, do you have any questions right now? Any questions? So remember, okay, we will have a test, okay, next Tuesday. Test next Tuesday, okay?
Wait, sir, what?
We will have a test, online test next Tuesday. I will put the test on the internet next Tuesday, okay?
You have an online test?
Yeah, online test, yeah.
Just only LS?
Yeah.
Oh.
I will put the test on the Microsoft Teams in this group. You just click into the test and do it. Okay, you will be given 1 day to complete the test.
Okay.
Okay. So, do you have any questions?
No.
No. Then we can end our lesson now. Okay. So I will give you homework. Yeah.
Can you give us like how do you say, like through the online? Can you give us like the revision notes? For us to study.
I will give you the coverage, but I will not give you the notes in detail because you can watch the videos on the internet. Okay, I've posted all videos. Okay, on the internet. Maybe I will highlight some main points, but it's quite tedious for me to highlight the notes again. Okay. Okay, don't worry too much. It's just the test just the test has 30 questions in the and then the question types include MC questions and filling in the blanks. Okay, it's
Okay.
easy. Okay, okay. So, okay, do you have any questions?
Okay, no.
Okay, no. Okay, so that's all for today's lesson. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much.